Chair recognizes Honourable Member for Foxhill.
Thank you. Morning, Mr. Speaker. I wish on behalf of the Department of Immigration and the wider government to give public thanks in this House to the Member of Parliament for South Eleuthera and Central Eleuthera for the excellent presentation and advocacy which he executed on the country's behalf at the hearing held in Washington, D.C. before the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights on the 20th of March. I said publicly that the hearing and the precautionary measures of the Commission were misdirected, but we found ourselves by reasons of comity before this Commission, notwithstanding our profound belief that the petitioners themselves were misdirected and were making exaggerated claims to the international community without first exhausting domestic remedies. I now wish to share information with the general public about the state of our immigration policies. I believe the policies have been generally successful despite the criticism. We are working assiduously to protect the integrity of the labor force so that those who are working here have the right to be here, and it reinforces the policy of Bahamians first. I'm advised that on the 12th of March at around 10 p.m. at Double Bay, Eleuthera, near Savannah Sound, residents of the area happened upon persons walking the beach who appeared to be Haitian. Immigration was alerted and was able to arrest 78 people and brought them to Nassau, and they had come from a vessel which was beached near Double Bay at Eleuthera. I'm advised that on the 21st of March, acting on intelligence, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force intercepted a vessel off Snake Key, Abaco, around 1 o'clock in the morning. There were 45 males, 11 females, and 5 children, all Haitians, who were intercepted without visas. They were brought to Nassau later that afternoon for repatriation, and they are now in the custody of immigration awaiting that repatriation. I'm advised on the 23rd of December, 24 people were arrested at Exuma. One man was charged with assisting illegal landing. He had a work permit. He pleaded guilty in the magistrate's court in Georgetown, was sentenced to 2 years in prison, fined $3,000, which was the maximum sentence. The others were repatriated. I'm advised that when the vessel was searched, they found packed luggage and passports. So this was an arranged journey, not, it appears, a random act of escape from poverty. I'm advised that in Inagua last year, when our people questioned those on board the boat that was intercepted at Inagua, the people said that they had paid $1,500 per head for that journey. The Member of Parliament for South Beach, while at the detention center on the 23rd of March, spoke to one of the persons detained there from the boat in Abaco on the 21st of March, who told her that she paid $2,500 for the journey. And she promised that when she is sent back to Haiti, she will try to accumulate the money again and try again. The vessels used in Abaco and Eleuthera were not your usual vessels and appear to be modern and up-to-date vessels and not the rickety boats which are normally featured with these incursions. I am advised the vessels are not registered in Haiti, nor are they registered in the Bahamas, but in a third country. In the light of the foregoing, there is a need to change the conversation on this from one of portraying this as an issue of the fight to stop poor migrants escaping poverty to one which recognizes that there is a sophisticated criminal enterprise involved where people are breaching our borders and undermining our security. This has become a national security issue. Our territory should not be a staging ground for unlawful activity into another territory. In pursuance, therefore, of this, I invite the country to consider the following. There is a need for more intense public education to solicit support from the public on this matter and give a greater understanding countrywide of what we are facing. Secondly, the Immigration Amendment Bill now before the Senate, which is expected to become law shortly, is likely to address several areas, and these include the increase in penalties from the present 2 years and $3,000 maximum to 5 years and $10,000. These penalties will apply to illegal landing, assisting illegal landing, and harboring illegal persons and hiring illegal persons. The public has to decide whether to embrace more intense prosecutions of illegal persons themselves, the smugglers, and those employers who hire and harbor illegal persons. The bill, when it becomes law, will deal with the status of children of non-nationals in the country, and there should then be no excuse for anyone not to have some form of identity and status, so long as they have pending citizenship applications or that contingent right to apply for citizenship. In this regard, there has to be an outreach to all communities here in the Bahamas to understand that there will be a no-tolerance policy with regard to this. Everyone must have a status. To borrow from another campaign, you must know your immigration status. We are now negotiating a memorandum of understanding with the United States of America for the sharing of assets and intelligence on migrant smuggling. Our intelligence operations will be working across our law enforcement agencies to study the anecdotal evidence with a view to attacking this issue, including covert operations. As the Royal Bahamas Defense Force fleet ramps up to size and the necessary improvements are done to bases at Inagua and Ragged Island, the expectation is that a more effective chokehold will be possible at sea to stop boats from making it to the north of our country from our southern neighbors undetected. The Immigration Reserve will likely be activated in the next fiscal year and will start in the first instance with islands that do not have now any immigration officers stationed. This will substantially expand the manpower capability of the department and the eyes and ears on the ground. In Grand Bahama, people have been calling for special operations there. That island with Bimini continues to be the staging point for nationals, for non-nationals to be smuggled into the United States. The North Eleuthera community and Exuma are also calling for special operations. We are not certain if we will ever get all the people who enter the Bahamas illegally, because we continue to hear that boats come in undetected, like the 60 or so that reportedly came into Abaco undetected 2 weeks ago, which led to our operations there. I am advised that communities in New Providence are being utilized as hiding places for those who are smuggled into the Bahamas as they await trips to the United States. The impression we have is that the smuggling community believes that this country can do nothing about this. It is my impression that the smugglers believe that they can overwhelm us with numbers and that we will not have the political will to fight it. The continued portrayal of us as human rights abusers and a country that attacks poor migrants may be part of the strategy to sap our will. It is in that context that I repeat what I've said, that those who make exaggerated claims of abuse and fight tooth and nail to stop these measures must answer to the Bahamian people as to whether or not they are wittingly or unwittingly furthering the work of the criminal enterprise or enterprises that seek to breach our borders and undermine the rule of law. The incursion in Abaco on the 21st of March demonstrates the contempt which smugglers have for our law enforcement measures. For them to come into Abaco on the 21st of March in the midst of a special operation by the combined work of the Immigration Department, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, and the Royal Bahamas Police Force so shows chutzpah. Knowing this, our country and our countrymen, all law-abiding citizens, have to have a steely ruthlessness when it comes to illegal migration. There can be no flinching in the face of this until the back of it has been broken. It is in that context, then, that I thank the country for its support. I am deeply conscious that all that we do must meet the constitutional test as being reasonably justifiable in a democratic society. I believe we meet that test. We have a principled but humane policy. I commend it to the Bahamian people, and I ask for their continued support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.